just to be clear, you just mentioned training Joshua. I did not bring up the subject.
Yeah, right.
You just said training Joshua at Finchley. There's obviously things you can't talk about, and that's absolutely fine. So just obviously leave out anything you want to leave out. But how did you guys link up in the first place? How were you brought onto that team?
We spoke about, just like ages ago, and again, we just, they contact me. We have a few sessions together. He expects several things from me, and he liked what I was doing to him, and yeah, I'm just grateful to him and just to the team, to allow me to be part of them, really.
And you called yourself earlier an apprentice. Is it great then that you get to work alongside not just Rob McCracken, who's obviously a very respected trainer, but the other guys at Team GB who have all got their own individual kind of expertise?
Yeah, 100%. Be there at GB, as I said, and just be alongside Rob McCracken, it's a great experience for me because I learn from each person, and once you see their guys working on a daily basis, it's a good thing for me because each individual has their own thing, and I've been learning so far, quite a lot, from each of them, and especially from Rob and from this camp. So hopefully it will make me a better coach than I was yesterday.
Well, presumably you're going to be in the next camp, so they must have been happy with your work so far.
Yeah, it seems, they're happy, we're still ongoing, it's like me, Joby, and Rob McCracken. And I think we're a good team, we're a good team all together, and it worked well. A lot of people kind of like said that it was not going to work, but you, as I said, you kind of go there with egos, this is me and this is, so yeah, so far so good,
Does it also offer the opportunity, I don't want to kind of put words into your mouth, but the other guys that you've got working with you, O'Hara Davis and some of the others, might be able to use the facilities up in Sheffield?
Those are the words of Angel Fernandez. Angel Fernandez was the third person in the corner with Joshua. You had the head trainer, Angel Fernandez, of course, and the cut man. And he was explaining, a lot of people said it wouldn't work. And he said you couldn't go with the egos. And really what that means was, the same reason people doubted that Angel Fernandez couldn't work with Rob McCracken is the same reason Ben Davison left the camp of Tyson Fury. These things happen. These things happen where you have a guy, he has a certain game plan, and he's not open for suggestions. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of fighters have people in their camp that clash. When people clash and they don't agree, it makes chaos amongst the camp. That's why Ben Davison left again. Ben Davison is referenced because that's exactly what Rob McCracken could have done, but the egos were good because Rob McCracken was like, hey, what do you want to do? You want to bring him in, you want to bring Ismael Salas in, you want to do this, you want to do that. He's not going to leave Rob McCracken. He was loyal to Rob McCracken. He said, I'm not leaving him over something I've done. Just like the same thing, speaking of trainers, is why Andy Ruiz should have never let go of Manny Robles, because it's not about the trainer. If you apologize to the trainer, that means you hold and you're held accountable for your own wrongdoings, okay? Anthony Joshua knew he did something wrong, but he wanted that, and Joshua is the type of dude, he's going to take it to the 10th power. So not only he knew what he was doing, he could have just stayed with Rob, but you know what? I'm going to work with this guy too, bring him in to make me do what I want to do better. And that's what he did. That's why he brought in Angel Fernandez. Why? Because Angel Fernandez could teach him some things that he needs in order to succeed on the things that he wants to get done. And the things he wanted to get done, exactly what he did. What did he do? He bobbed, he weaved, he moved, okay? He leaned out. I think that was, thanks to Klitschko, though, honestly. He had a Klitschko physique. If you look at Anthony Joshua in that second fight, he looked like he was built more like Klitschko, lean but still cut, okay? So it looked like he leaned on a lot of carbs or added some carbs and cut the protein, cut the powerlifting. The diet totally changed. He admitted that. With Angel Fernandez, he did the rest, and he combined it with McCracken. And you know what that's due to? That's due to non-ego, people. When you have an ego, nobody can tell you shit. I got relatives. You can't tell them nothing because their egos are like this, right? They're not open to suggestions. You can't tell them nothing. What you want me? No, I know, dude. I know what I'm doing. That is ego. You know, ego is kind of intertwined with personality also. You know, so it could be tricky. Not saying what Ben Davison and all that, but that's a good example. He could have, hey, I care for my friend. I know I'm comfortable with my ability. I'm comfortable with what I know I can do. I might not agree with the total goal, but I do want to see this out. And I think that's what Ben Davison had problems struggling with. That's why he left. Because he didn't want the idea of like, hey, it's my way or the highway. That's why he left. So he left. He took the highway. Right? With Angel Fernandez, these guys somehow, right? Because it's not always easy. It ain't. We're ready to work together. But why? Why were they all ready to work together? Because Angel Fernandez wasn't this big swinging dick. He wasn't this dude that knew he knew everything about the sport of boxing and training. He was a guy thankful. He was thankful to be in that camp. He was thankful to be of an assistance like everyone. There's an African proverb. It's many hands make light work. Light work. Okay? And in this situation, these hands and these guys put together a strategy for Anthony Joshua that caused him to get the unified championship belts back. And that's an accomplishment, you know, and it just shows you attitude, ego, or loss of ego there is, humbleness, all that applies. And really 100% pure concern for the fighter at hand. Not basically what you can do for the fighter, but what will help the fighter, and other people can help that fighter. If other people can help that fighter, you should have no problem with it if you believe in the overall goal of only helping that fighter. Because you're not going to always have the best suggestions. You're not going to always do the right things or say the right things, especially in training camp. That next person probably does. However, that next person is not yourself, so you shouldn't feel any type of way about it. You should be happy, like, man, that's right. You know, I'm glad they brought you on. Not, man, you know what? I think we should do it this way because I want it this way because I am the head coach and I say what's good goes. Those type of things happen in the sport, and I think that's what happened with Ben Davis and Tyson Fury. And I'm only referencing them because of a split up. Because we've seen two different ways and two different fighters. We've seen Joshua take a loss, okay? And everyone's saying, sack McCracken, sack McCracken, sack McCracken, right? Everybody was saying that, but he didn't do it. He added to those people, to his team. So he was like, no, I'm not going to get rid of, I know what made it work, what made me do everything that I did up to this point. I'm going to add more people on. Therefore, I'll be better because I'll have more years, more counsel, more opinions, more strategy, more options. Versus Tyson Fury. Oh, I got 2 cuts here. Hey, let's doubt his credibility as a coach, being Davison. And hey, you know what? Let's bring in Javon Sugar Hill. Oh no, fuck that. I'm not gonna work with Javon Sugar Hill. I'm the head coach, right? So he left. Exit stage right. So those are 2 examples of how people work together without the egos versus how people work together with the egos. You know, so with the egos that we've seen examples of how that works. And again, back to this, people said that wouldn't even be able to work. People doubted Joshua from left to right, up and down, in and out, right? Side to side. They didn't think he could do what he did. They thought that, hey, he needs another tune-up fight. They thought you need to sack McCracken, but really all he needed was someone else. And it was a couple people. You can have the silent partner of Klitschko, really? Because he's the guy that taught Anthony Joshua how to eat properly, how to diet the way he's supposed to do what he wants to do. And he did what he wanted to do. So kudos for him, and it's a good thing that Angel Fernandez came into the corner and had assistance. He was an additive, okay, to this particular scenario and made it what it was, without conflict, without egos, okay, just working together. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Angel Fernandez saying that, hey, it was a pleasure to be on and people thought it wouldn't work. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.